going back into YouTube, and if I could give you an advice if you want to start YouTube as someone who has done it for 10 years, here's what I'll have to tell you. 10 years on YouTube. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm Captain Awesome. This is Geekception. And yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, you know, you start a channel in the middle of the night because you're frustrated with life and you just want to, share your laptop that you've been obsessing over the past 6 months with the entire world.
Hello guys, my laptop, I've been waiting to buy this laptop for a long time.
And 10 years later, you're sharing everything with the world. Like, nobody tells you that. And if you're not caught up on the lore, I started Geekception in 2014 on this exact same day, April 5th, because I wanted to share my MSI GS70 stealth laptop I had bought at the time, which, I'm not sure what kind of YouTube user you are, but for me, I obsess over like the stuff I really like, right? So I think at that stage, I'd watched every single video about the laptop on the internet. So when we got it here in Malaysia before the rest of the world got it, I was like, I have to make a video. There's no other option. So I made a video, and the rest, as they say, is history. And yeah, it's been a crazy 10 years. Like, nobody tells you this. Like, you're 22 years old, you start a channel, and 10 years later, you're 32 years old. And I remember, like, I was just a baby, man.
Hello guys. So today I'm going to be playing guitar, All of Me by John Legend.
Like, I had so many like things that I was worrying about for good reason. I'm Nigerian. I'm here in Malaysia. I was in college at the time. I was really flunking very bad.
How is the social life in Help University?
Social life in Help University.
But I was so dedicated to this channel because at the time I just felt like, man, I really just love doing this. I mean, it will only be years later after I had burnt out. Also, I think where I stopped uploading videos to this channel, where I discovered that I had ADHD and I just like had like this whole burnout over a long period of time. But yeah, it's been a journey of discovery. If you told me like, when I uploaded that video after not sleeping the entire night, I think 2 nights in a row, not sleeping, learning video editing in like 12 hours nonstop, and then just uploading every single thing that I have, wanted to check out, and some things that I didn't want to check out over the years. But just doing it and having over 600 uploads here on Geekception alone. I started a TikTok last year or the year before, and even that I uploaded, I think, over 200 videos there. And I think in total, like the lifetime videos I've made both for myself and for other people is easily about 2,000 videos. Which is insane to think about when I started this channel where I did not even know anything about video editing. I literally, if you're an OG, Lightworks. I literally downloaded Lightworks at the time because like there was no other thing. DaVinci Resolve or any of the other editing software at the time were not great. So yeah, it's definitely been a journey. I remember having to borrow the first camera I used because I did not have a camera of my own. So shout out to Shruti. Shout out to who lent me her camera. Shout out to every single person who has been with me on this journey from the beginning, who, my unfortunate or fortunate friends who I have used as, props in my video or as tripods, as my cameramen, as my audio people, as my entire production crew.
With my roommate, his name is Emmanuel. He's from Nigeria.
Shout out to, my mom, my sister, shout out to myself, for just, being here this long because, it's definitely not been easy. And I remember 2017 was when I really started burning out a lot, was when, life really started getting to me. I was, in college. I was supposed to have been done. It was a 3-year degree. I was already in my 5th year, I think. It would take me, spoiler alert, another 2 more years to finish. So it took a while. And, I think I was making videos despite the fact that I was almost kicked out of my apartment multiple times because I literally just didn't have money. And every single money I would make at the time, I would spend it on camera gear. And I remember I used to be so obsessed with 4K at the time. And even though I had like this really shitty Canon camera, well, it's not shitty, it's the Canon 700D, which was my starter camera. I used to like upload everything to 4K to YouTube because I had this belief that there's one day that I'm going to watch these videos and I want to watch them in the best quality ever. And look at me now, 10 years later, I'm watching them on like a massive 75-inch TV that I have at home now. And it is holding up really nicely. So yeah, that is, I think, one of the things that it didn't at the time seem like it made sense because my laptop couldn't even edit in 4K properly. Like I remember my MSI laptop, which started the entire channel, would always hang. But yeah, I just did it. And speaking of that MSI laptop, I would go on to make like 5 videos, I think, like a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year later video about that laptop. So I think going back into YouTube, and if I could give you an advice, if you want to start YouTube as someone who has done it for 10 years, here's what I'll have to tell you, which is that, you just have to do what you feel true to, and I think it's very funny because I've done all this like 600 videos. I have, done all the unboxings, all the comparisons, all the events, all of the videos that I would have never imagined because I literally was this broke college student in a foreign country that is not even mine, right? Like I'm not a citizen of this country. And, at the time when I started my channel, I used to make like all these tutorial videos about, how to, download this Microsoft Hyperlapse thing, or how to, turn your S6 Edge into a S7 Edge back then. And I then went on this, oh no, I must have all of these scripted videos and I must have this high production quality. And I obsessed over that, burning out, trying to do it as a business in quotes where, I'm doing clients and all of that thing. And then realizing that, there were far too many times where I was asked to compromise my integrity just to be able to like review stuff. And it really didn't sit well with me. So I stopped doing all of that. And coming back to it now, 10 years later, it's so funny that I am doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing like when I first started YouTube, which is insane. Like, the kind of videos I'm making now, which are like a hit right now, are like my, my what's on my ROG Ally video, what is, this video guide and all of that. And that's always what I've always wanted to make. And I think it's very funny in a circular way that, you go on this journey trying to find yourself, trying to find what you're good at, only to discover that you've always been there. You've always been good at the thing. You've always had sort of the things that you care about. It's just that, we think that is not enough, and we think we have to go level up in just all these other areas. And yeah, while those areas, like, for example, audio, like look at this, I have like lighting, I'm shooting on a 6K camera right now. I have an iPad in front of me where I can like, view everything that I'm recording right now. So it's like, it's gotten really complex, but at the root of it, it's just, I just want to share all the stuff I'm obsessed and passionate about. Now it's been 10 years. I want to still be doing this 20 years from now, 30 years from now, where, I truly feel like, it's a career in quotes that, I can never be tired of, because it's just provided I'm always following the things that I care about and I'm always doing the things that really speak to me. I think I'll be fine in the long run. And I think you'll be fine in the long run. If you're thinking of starting something yourself, I would say absolutely go for it, because, like, why not? Like, the time is going to pass anyway. And yeah, I definitely wanted to make this video very differently. Like, I had this idea where, I'm going to go back to like my old place where I used to stay. I would interview my lecturers back then, because I started this channel in college. I would interview all of the guys who used to help me, and gals who used to help me, like, film my videos. I will interview some of the brands I've worked with, and I'll make like this documentary of like a 10-year. So that didn't work out, obviously, because this is the video you're getting instead. So then I thought, okay, I'm just going to do like a reaction video. So I went on YouTube and I watched like all of this reaction video of like 10 years on YouTube. Here's what I learned. And then they tell you about, and they're reacting to like all their content, and it's so nice. And I wanted to do that too. But then I also realized that, I'm not going to do that too, because, reasons, primarily just because, like, I got overwhelmed. I'm like editing like this, I think 40-minute video right now, which has just been, a sort of a throwback to the kind of videos I used to make before. So at the end of the day, I'm just making this video because it's been a journey. Like, I've never been sort of focused on, let's say, this is how many subscribers I want to have, or this is, how many likes I want to get on a video or whatever. Because I've always just, thought that, when the medium that I use doesn't really matter much. I started out as a blogger, for those who do not know. And, I from blogging, I came to YouTube. Then I also went to TikTok, which became like really, really like successful in quotes last year. But for me, it's always just been like, hey, wherever it is, it doesn't matter where it is, even if it's on like, a teletext. If you're old enough to remember teletext on televisions back then. If you're not old enough to remember teletext, if it's just like me going to literally the farm square or the village square to just talk about like this new idea that I have, and God knows I have so many ideas. I think I would still be doing that, man. So I think nothing is going to change in that form. And I think in many ways it's just saying thank you to, everybody that has been with me on this journey, who has contributed in one way or the other. Even those who did not contribute, as actually, it has all sort of been leading me exactly to this place that I am right now. And I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful knowing just how much I used to be so anxious, how much I used to, worry about the future, worry about, life, and worry about all of these things. And looking at it now 10 years later, and I still worry. I mean, of course, I'm a human being, but, not in that same way anymore, right? In many ways, I'm older. I'm in my 30s now. I'm a whole lot more confident. Not that I lacked confidence anyway before. I'm a whole lot more confident, and in many cases, unlike when I was younger, now I can sort of be like, if right now, for example, I'm only making long form videos, like I can decide to stick to that right now, and I don't feel any sort of like doubt about it, as opposed to maybe before where I'm like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should do something else. So I think, getting older really did help a lot in that regard. And I'm just grateful. I'm just very overwhelmed, actually, like thinking back at, all of the sacrifices I've had to make for, this channel, all of the bread I'd had to eat for this channel. Cause there was a time, I think for like 3-4 years in a row where I ate bread every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, just to be able to, I think I would spend my school fees sometimes to buy gear, or I would skip school, in fact, to be able to go to an event or to be able to shoot a video. And my entire life revolved around just making videos, especially for this channel. So I would say, yeah, it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey, a very overwhelming one now that I'm talking about it. So I'm grateful for each and every body that has been on that journey with me. It's definitely a journey. It's a long game, and I'm going to be watching this in 10 years, in 20 years, in 50 years, and when I'm gone, when I'm no longer here, and if you're watching this right now after I have passed, know that if you gave me the chance to do this all over again, I would absolutely do this all over again, because if anything, doing this channel here on Geekception, doing everything, learning about technology in Nigeria, learning about how to, code, learning how to blog, getting out of Nigeria, coming here to Malaysia, doing Geekception, I'm Captain Awesome now. I'm not sure what I will be in the next couple of years, but all of those things have all been very painful things, but they've also been a pain that I chose for myself. And I think there is no greater feeling than, even when it sucks, at least it is in the one where I decide, like, this is where I want it to suck. And, in many ways, it doesn't make it suck any less. It did not give me food when I was hungry many times, or make me feel comfortable when I was almost kicked out many times also. But it definitely does, after time has passed, like 10 years now, it definitely makes it a whole lot more easier to live my day to day, knowing that I love this. I absolutely love doing this. Like, I've been talking now for, I don't know how long, 14 minutes now. And it's absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed setting up this entire thing. I enjoy shooting this. I enjoy talking to you. And I just enjoy making this. I enjoy doing all of this. And I cannot wait for the next videos you're going to be seeing, whether it's this week, whether it's next week, whether it's for the next 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. And I want to say thank you to past me. I want to say thank you so much for, doing this, for despite all of the things that we had to, surpass. You surpassed them. You did well, buddy. For my future self as well, knowing that I love you, knowing that I care about you, knowing that every single thing I do in this moment is holding you in utmost respect and care and kindness, and knowing that, especially for the viewer, that the reason why you're going to get the best content is not because of you. The reason you're going to get the best content is because of me. It's because I care about this for myself first. I make the things that I want to watch. I put the effort that I know that is sustainable enough. I think about this in many ways, that at the end of the day, when you see a video that you like, and you think, oh wow, this guy really, really wants me to subscribe, or he really wants me to, care about this, know that it's because I cared about it first. And with that, I will be signing off. Thank you so much for watching. It's not going to be a lot of edits in this video, so I hope I can get it out fast enough. But thank you so much. I've been your captain of awesome. This is Geekception, and here's to the next 10 years on YouTube. Bye.